Dua Duawu to the Ramech. Anuk Ast Ma'at Tefnut. I am Ast Ma'at Tefnut. And today we are here to speak about the return of the Nubians of the Americas. And before we proceed, I will be opening with my Hesi Saku affirmation so that my words today are found to be true to the ears of the ancient ones, the Puat and the ancestors when I speak to the Ramech and all of the viewers. And I appreciate our guest, which will be here with us today. He has entered the studio, so we will begin at this time. Our guest, which will be here with us today. Apologies. All right. So yes, here in the studio, we have Dr. ABY Muhammed Al Mahdi. All right. Okay, so at this time, I will perform my Hesi. Hetepu, Dua, Duawu, a Nazareth Ramech, Hotep. Greetings and divine greatness, divine excellence to the first families, and to all of you joining us here today on the NAGASHIP Telecommunications Multimedia Network. To my Naga, Shimsa Haruz, Nesubitis, Mutnatart, Sibats, and Hamets, the immortal ones of Ma'at cherished, of the phenomenon of precession, New Age order, Great Golden Age of Ma'at Hapi Asar. And to all citizens, descendants of the Nile Valley Cultural Cosmic Collective Consciousness Spirituality, O Ra Neberteshara, the she and he, the mother and father of all existence, the master and possessor of light and radiation, of heat and movement. We ask that you bless us, humble servants, for Ankh life being now present. For we seek the counsel of the ancient ones and practice daily the ancient Ma'atian ways and ancient Ma'atian truths. We strive evermore to become one with thee in this world and in the existence to come. We ask that you bless us on this, the 323rd day after the helical rising, 37 days Haru remaining until Ubin Saptit Cyrus rising, Upuat Samai Tawi, Weprin Pet Digit Heb, the 4th Haru of Quebsaneth, the 35th Haru, the 9th month of Sekhmet, the 23rd Haru, the 3rd Abet, the 3rd season of Pert. AFNK/ST after founding of New Kemet, Naga Kemet, Cam West, Samai Tawi, Weprin Pet Digit Heb, New Year's celebration. We ask that you bless our families and friends and all those of us who gather together in your most holy, sacred, and glorious ancient Tamarian name of Ra Neberteshara. For in the art of seeking you, there is much comfort. So as it is spoken, so let it be written, so shall it be done, so let it be, for now and forever forward. Panatara Pu, Pamaat, Ankwaz Dejed, Ank Uja, Seneb, Ubin Neferi Care, Panebu, Haru, Mati, rising always in divine excellence with Ma'at all day, every day, Dua, Duawu. And at this time, I will have joining me, and I'm going to have him introduce himself to you all. And I'm going to unmute his mic.
Greetings.
And welcome, greetings.
Greetings. Hotep, to all the family members out there, to the first families. Begin all things in the luscious name of Al Kulum, the all. My name is Dr. ABY Muhammed Al Mahdi, and I am Nubian, of the indigenous Nubians of the Americas. I am the founder of the Nubian Geographic, a virtual museum, and the Nuba Markets, which is a Nubian center to help support the developing Nubian and up-and-coming businesses. So our objective is to speak more about what is it that we're looking to do, our goals with our entities, how we can collaborate as a unit and work as a whole, and basically find common ground so that we can create a stable and realistic future for our youth to come. So I would like to thank everyone for coming, streaming in, and look forward to any questions that one might have to ask.
Gratitude. And again, appreciate you being here today. And we all will enjoy this presentation. We have spoken before. We met today before this broadcast, and we have already discussed so much. And we found that you have like is un I can it's unmeasurable the amount of knowledge that you have that you will be sharing, and it appears that we'll be having a series possibly. So I look forward to continuing on in a manner of a series to bring forth to the Ramech all that you have to share. So while you're here, take your time, be comfortable. We are here, no rush, no hurries, and we have planned. I have submitted questions that we would like to hear, but also we would like for you to speak freely as you see fit.
Okay, I was just putting my my sound on mute because I'm actually live in Nubian Square, Roxbury. Y'all, for some of y'all that don't know, Nubian Square, Roxbury is an open market, open community for all Nubians to come, start your businesses, and help promote the Nubian identity and Nubian culture, and actually reestablish wealthy communities for Nubian peoples. So I just want to say, pardon my background noise. Sometimes you got to be in the pot when you're cooking in the kitchen.
That's right. That's right. And that's the benefits of going live also. I enjoy it. First, since you're already at an event, tell us about this year's events and what the attendees should expect at the events they attend.
Thank you once again. This year's events. We have several events. We have June 26th, the open house at the 300 Walnut Avenue, the Big Head Museum, as well as July 25th. It's another one of our massive, large New Year celebration events. And we were successful in our event last year with the help that we had and the support of the communities and the local scholars that came out to support and speak and teach. As we want to always be able to do is encourage more growth. Every year we want to do better. Every year we want to do bigger. We want to invite more local businesses on board. This is why we're on Nubian Square at a Nubian block party, shaking hands, talking to the family members, grabbing business cards and inviting them to our events. We have a plethora of knowledge and information and insight that we'd like to share with our communities, our languages, our calendars, learning more about who you are, your ancestry, your name. We have our director of the Nubian Museum. His name is Director Barry Gaither. We with the NAGASHIP Association as well as other organizations are in collaboration so that we can help support the museum, but also protect the Egyptian or the Nubian mummies and artifacts that are housed in this museum. Now, this is a responsibility that you shouldn't feel like you're not a part of because you don't reside in Boston. You're a Nubian no matter where you are. That beautiful melanin skin of yours, anywhere you step in, they know that's a Nubian right there. So when you see Nubian causes, you don't physically have to be there. Give us a call, give us a like, give us a holler, and just help support any business you see. So our objective this year is to help the museum with some of the renovations. Now, everybody have suffered through COVID-19 and were isolated, or for some of our spiritual brothers and sisters, you had an opportunity to really get a chance to meditate. So, it's important that we really look at this time, not as a time of loss, but a time of gain. We've gained a better understanding of ourselves. We gain better knowledge of those around us by stepping away from an everyday interaction with people. We get a chance to really truly understand the people around us. So what does that mean? That means that what we're doing now is coming out to support our museums in our community. If you're in a city that has a Black museum, go there, talk to the director. What can we do to help support you? What can we do to help bring the young generation to the museum? Okay, and this is where the virtual museum concept was created, so that you can virtually visit our museums, see the different artifacts, download photographs, and be able to share this information out with your classroom or your teachers. But what we're doing also is we're merging what we know as conscious knowledge, wisdom and understanding, and we have academic knowledge, which also comes from academic knowledge really merges with conscious knowledge. But what we're doing is we're bringing the two platforms together. For many of years, so many of our brothers and sisters that have trekked and learned and traveled around the world to get a better knowledge of who they are, oftentimes have been dismissed by Western society and Western academic culture. So now what we're striving to do as a Nubian Geographic is to elevate the knowledges that our brothers and sisters have culminated, have collected over the years, and give them a platform so that if Facebook shuts off, you still have a platform to find your information. If any of these social media portals shut off, we have a concentrated database so that you can always cite the information and find what we have to give. So this year, we're helping with the renovations of the museum. We have several African-American artifacts there, beautiful paintings, and several remnants from various cultures around the world that we have taken upon us as Nubians to say it's our time to defend and protect these locations. And so what does that mean? That means that we're doing fundraisers. We're supporting the museum on our Eventbrite page. When you donate, the money goes to the museum so that we can fix the leaks in the roof. We have some leaks that's right above some of these artifacts, and we're working tirelessly so that we don't lose some of these artifacts. You know, it's one thing to take a picture when it's gone. It's another thing to take the responsibility when it's here. We're taking the responsibility of it's here in our day and time. We're stepping up to the plate so that we can be there and defend it and protect our landmarks. Now, we, Nubian Geographic, and our entities are what we call Indigenous Peoples Organization, IPO. If you have an opportunity, if you do not know about it, which I'm sure everybody does, look it up. But an IPO is how we designate our organization. I've ran nonprofits as, nonprofit organizations, NPOs. You've seen NGOs, but now we have IPOs, which is a second part of our segment when we stepped to the United Nations, submitted the documentation as an organization, as an IPO, so that we can self-identify. That's what's more important to us. We're able to self-identify and no longer be mislabeled as Negro, colored, or Black. So our general objective is to support this museum, but also to create long-standing support so that if you feel that you want to be able to donate something to the museum, donate to the museum. But what we're doing is creating a virtual version of the museum. So as you go into the doors, if you go to our website, NUBIANgeographic.com, you take a look at our website will open up to a virtual museum. You'll be able to walk through the museum and see so much history, so much history. And we're working day in and day out to add more content to our website. We also manufacture our own soaps. We also have brothers and sisters that manufacture their own products that we can put out there under our platform. Our goal is to create a Nubian economy. A Nubian economy. Okay? This is our chance, our goal to come together, utilize our resources to now be the new change everybody's looking for change. But why don't you be the change that you're looking for? And this is why we created this platform. And the other platform that we created was NubianGeo.tv. NubianGeo.tv is a platform where we'll be uploading videos, a lecture series. Even if you have music, if you're an artist and you want to promote your work, we want to help promote your work that's positive, has a positive message, and does not promote Negroism, which is a mentality that allows us to continue to kill each other. And when one climbs out of a barrel, Negroism pulls them back down, or the other expression that we use is coonism. Now, coonism has become very difficult to identify. Tigers have learned how to change their stripes. So how do you identify those that are true? You judge them by their works. You don't judge them by their words. Judge them by their actions. Okay? Because when you point that finger at somebody, you got three fingers pointing back at you. It's very important that we judge people based on, and it might be simple, it might be small. Peace and blessings, brother. Peace and blessings to all the members of the family that have just come in. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your love. The more support and love we get, the more we grow, the less we're going to be looking for grants, the less we're going to be begging people for money. There's a reason why gentrification is successful. We are America's purse strings. We hold the control to America's wealth. You are. When they said America is paved in gold, they were talking about the Nubians, not the Negroes. The Nubians come from what? The land of gold. So when they said America is paved with gold, they talking about all these wealthy Nubians. Because wherever we go, we establish economies. Come look behind me and look at Nubian Square. You know, it's a little rough around the edges, but I'm sure most of my brothers and sisters come from neighborhoods and communities that are rough around the edges. But the more we're out here, the more we gown ourselves in our garment, show our children what we stand for, show them that they have a future, show them that we are building schools, and not just the schools, the shuls for hell, and all the degrees, which is the Hebraic word for shul and school, but temples, learning centers, where you can sit amongst your queen mothers and your elders, all the elders, and learn from them. They're not gone. They didn't all disappear. They're not all sitting at a bus stop waiting for coins. They are waiting for you to accept that this gray represents the trials and tribulations of our people. Do not be ashamed of who you are. Do not be ashamed of your gray. Moses had gray, y'all. Wear it out. Be proud of that gray. Let your children know one day you're going to wear this with grace, with respect. And this is why we have to position ourselves in our communities and be visible. Because if we're not visible, somebody else is going to be visible to your children, and that's going to cause that level of confusion to your child. Hence why we created Nubian Geographic Museum, so that we can duplicate the Nubian Geographic in every city. We want Nubian Geographic to have a division in every city, so that we can basically take over the whole concept of museums. Because if they're not willing to give us our artifacts back, we're going to build on top of them. We're going to build above them. Because they are now the mummies, and we are now rising. We are now, the planet is not freezing over. The planet is getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So stand out there and get that melanin and get that vitamin D, and don't be afraid to be who you are, and don't be afraid to be who your grandparents and great-grandmothers and fathers fought for. Everybody's talking about Tulsa now. Some of us that have been reading for a long time know about Tulsa. But Tulsa is not the only Tulsa. There's been Tulsas all over America. What do we do to prevent the next Tulsa? What do we do to prevent us losing our land? These are the things that we're talking about. How do we sit at the table? Because one of the things my father always said to me, if you're not on the table, then you're on the menu. If you're not on the table, then you're on the menu. This is the mentality that we have to get in our mind, that we have to start building tables for all of the members of our community. So as we have some of our foreign brothers and sisters coming from abroad, we invite them to sit down with us and share your history, share your story with us, so that we can help document it, we can help publish it, so that we can help re-identify our communities. Go ahead, sis.
Gratitude. And speaking of community, you teach karate.
Yes.
Tell us the benefits of learning karate and how it's best for our community, your efforts in teaching others that skill.
Martial arts, the origin of martial arts, the Nubians. Let's be realistic, okay? The origin of martial arts is Nubians. When you look into the ninja, you find the word jinn. Jinn was always used against people of color because it said the devil is black. So when you put the word ninja with the whole martial art from Kemetic martial arts, you can see where they borrowed our history. We're not even saying they stole anything. We're not going to say that. We're going to say they reappropriated it. But it's important that our sisters first, and then our brothers, master martial arts and master self-defense. Self-defense is very important because we present the olive branch when others present the sword. We're always opening our arms to everybody. Come on in, sit down at the table and eat our food. And then at times, like our natives, they give and they lose. So what we're teaching our children now, self-defense. We have Muay Thai artists and specialists, ninjutsu, judo. We have a plethora of different practices in the martial art. But the first thing that we teach is its origin. We remind them that all of these crafts started in Nubia, started in Africa, in the land of the dark-skinned people, the land of the blacks, where the word Africa comes from the Arabic word faraka. The word faraka just means to divide and separate. So most of you, if not all of you, know that the name Africa is not his real name. It was just a word used during the time of slavery or human trafficking, when they said, in order for us to conquer them, we have to divide them. We have to separate them. So this is where the word faraka or frikia come from. But if you look back long enough, you will find maps. And we have some maps on our site where you will find all of Africa being called Sudan. All of Africa at one point was called Sudan before they colonized Africa and established these bogus monarchs, which are now dictators that are repressing the people today. So the most important part to us is teaching the historical beginning of what we do before we teach anything. What we specialize in as the Nubian, as the owner of Nubia, is archery. We train in Nubian archery. And at our event, June 26th and July 25th, we're going to have archery demonstrations. But we do archery daily because archery it comes from the word ta seti. That's the original name. So when you say that, you say the land of gold, you say the land of Nubia, you say the land of the bow. The land of the bow. Some of you guys use the Google machine. Some of you use the Wikipedia machine. You'll find it in there, but you'll find that is the origin of archery, came from Nubia. So our objective goal is to stick with what our foremothers and what our forefathers have given us to pass down to our next generation. And what is our slogan for the Nubian Archery Society? Target your goals. Target your goals. And we teach that also in self-defense. In self-defense, archery, hunting. We do mountain climbing with our youth. We have several engagements where parents come with the kids, and we have camping outings where we provide massive tents. You can see behind us, we provide massive tents, transportation to any one of our functions and events. So these are some, like a scratch of our 42 entities that we manage underneath the Imperial Kingdom of Nubia, IPO. Imperial Kingdom of Nubia, which is registered under UNESCO in the United Nations. When you look up the UNESCO of United Nations, you'll find the Imperial Kingdom of Nubia registered. So we don't talk about what we do, we show you what we do. And we can show you exactly that we follow a document called the UNDRIP. The word UNDRIP means United Nations Declaration for the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Write it down, remember it. Like something dripping, water dripping, and say undrip. So don't drip on me with your problem. United Nations Declaration for the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Everybody, please look up this document, print a copy of this, and pass it on to your fellow brother and your fellow sister, your fellow elder, your fellow youth, because they need to read this. And these are rights that we had since Bill Clinton's era, okay? We had these rights to operate as indigenous people, open up our own banks, open up our own stores, our own libraries. But every time we progress forward, we're given crumbs and we go back to Negro. We go back to an identity that makes us comfortable, not an identity that forces us to change. Pardon me, so go ahead, sis.
So you mentioned your 42 entities that you manage. And we talked earlier and you were doing a comparison between contractors versus employees and knowing your worth versus the company's value. I like that. I like that. Could you speak more on that? Your mic is muted.
Yes.
Okay.
We're free unless you tell yourself that you're not. When you go out to employ and you're looking for a job, okay, go to the Bible, look for the job. That's where we get the whole science of jobs and working. You present what? your resume, a job application, a contract, right? And you're provided with a 1099. So you're an independent contractor. You're an independent contractor that has to present all of their skills so that you could be employed. And then at the end of your fiscal year, you still have to file those documents as an independent contractor. Once you realize the value of your position at that company, then you can turn around and say, listen, I don't work for you. I work for myself. I went to school. I got those degrees. And now I'm presenting to you my value to your. A company is never going to give you what you're worth. They're going to give you what they think you should get. That's why they always ask you on a job application, how much do you think you're worth? You ever notice that trick question, y'all? How much do you think you're worth? I used to always say, when I had worked for companies, I would say priceless. Why? Every time I wrote priceless on a job application, instantly I got the interview. Instantly I got the interview. And they said, nobody ever said that. I said, because I know what my value is. I know contract law. I know, tax law, which is, these are the things you should be filing your own taxes. If you are even in the tax system, you shouldn't pay somebody else to misrepresent you on these documents, and then the IRS come to you as fraud, but you're paying somebody to do something that you're supposed to do on your own. We need to take control back. Every time we get ready to stand on our own, we're giving stimulus checks. We're giving something to make us comfortable. We're giving something to sit down, get home, just relax. Every time we get enough is enough is enough, they're giving you legal weed. Before they give us legal weed, let's open up the prisons and remove all of our brothers and sisters that's in jail illegally under marijuana cases before they make it legal. Where do we have that argument? Where do we have that conversation? We all know somebody that's wrongfully incarcerated behind, this marijuana situation. Why is it that we haven't negotiated to open up the jails and remove all of those petty offenses? See, we keep taking nothing while they take everything. They give us crumbs while they have the recipe. And we need to start demanding the recipe and no longer crumbs. So when we're given false leaders, teachers, and preachers, we need to question them. Who gave you the authority? You see? Who gave you the authority to teach me? Who gave you the authority to preach to me? Who gave you the authority to be a political figure in my community? And we need to start empowering our own brothers and sisters and our elders to step in and become these individuals that we're looking for to change our community. Nobody can come in from West Bumware nowhere and say, I know everything about your neighborhood and I think I can change your community. No, we need children from inside of our community. We need elders. Why don't we elect one of those surviving members from Tulsa to office? We could sit there and put them in front of the Senate, but we have enough power to elevate anybody else. Let's elevate them, because then we will force change. We have to create what we are calling safe cities. Safe cities are where, in ancient times, 1600, with the Catholics, the Roman Catholics, you could commit a crime, run into a church, and say sanctuary, and you're protected under the veil of the Vatican, which really was a Moorish institution. But I'm not going there. If you look at their flags and you look in the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Vatican, you'll see that they worship the Black Mother, the Queen Mother. But that's beside the point. You realize we have the ability to put our people in place so that then we can then affect and create change. So when we say gentrification is an issue, we're not saying gentrification is an issue. We're saying we're changing it because of this issue. We feel that gentrification displaces us, removes all of our national monuments, historical monuments that they've stonewalled us from, greenlined us out of. And only we, you on this call, have the ability to change it. You sitting there watching TV and watching this commercial thinking these politicians are going to change your neighborhood when they don't even live there. This is your responsibility. This is your job. Later for passing the buck on anybody else. And I know a lot of us, it's easy for us to be afraid. It's easy for us to feel like we can't do this. We don't have no power. We don't have any control. You're wrong. You're wrong. This is your time. This is our time. And we have to stand up united despite of your ideology. If I find my brothers and sisters on the street, I elevate them, I lift them up. If they're hungry, I bring them food. One of the things that we do at Nubian Geographic, we donate food. We have brothers and sisters driving around the community donating food, narcanning, substance abusers, counseling. So our history is not just about preserving the past, but we have living history amongst us right now. You are living history. But as a matter of fact, you're living our story. You're a living part of our story. It only becomes history when he stole it. Go ahead, sis.
Continue. I'm listening. Continue. Please
You know,
continue.
it's easier for me to answer questions because I'll just ramble for days. Once again, back to the Big Head. The Big Head Museum was so significant because that statue is in representation of what's called the immortal essence, which the creator of the statue wanted the statue as you visit. For those that have visited the Nubian Museum, as you go up, the head elevates, so it elevates you. So you see black at a 360. You see this black head at a 360-degree angle. This is powerful for us. Why? Why do we have Mount Rushmore, but we don't have Mount Malcolm, Mount Marcus Garvey, Mount anybody else? We could erect Trump Tower, but we can't erect mountains with our ancestors. How come we want to put our ancestors on fiat notes when our government becomes defunct and the money has no value? Yeah, that's when I want to put Harriet Tubman on a $20 bill when it has no value anymore. Let's put Harriet Tubman on some cryptocurrency, and then let's see how quickly they're going to change that. This is the things that we have to start focusing on. We have a big responsibility. A brother came to me the other day. He said, "You know what, brother? I'm sick and tired of social media. I'm getting off of social media. It's a waste of my time." And I said to the brother, I said, "You should try your best to get kicked off of social media, because then that's how you know you're doing something with it. When you're sitting around talking to people online and looking at people's pictures that you got about 3,000 friends, but you still holding the camera taking your picture, then you ain't got 3,000 friends. Okay, you have one friend. That one friend that takes pictures of you in the bathroom, that's your only friend you have. So we have to change that dynamic of how we think and how we do. You don't have 3,000 friends. You have those that you have right there in your general vicinity, that if there's a flood, that if the lights in the city goes out, you can call them or you can reach out to them and they're there. This is how we need to start thinking. We have another project called CPA, Community Protection Agency. Community Protection Agencies where we've armed our community members with CB radios, utility belts. So don't call the cops. We're going to deal with it ourselves. Before the cops even come, we already have a triage team on the ground. We have a Narcan substance abuse specialist. We have domestic violence prevention specialists. We have immigration specialists. We have so many different specialists under our group that when they see us, they say, "Oh, you guys are just a black organization." No, we're not just a black organization. As a matter of fact, we're not even a black organization. We're a Nubian entity. We're a Nubian entity because when they say black organization, they're mislabeling you and putting you back into organizations that went defunct, that failed. When you say we're a Nubian entity, it changes the dynamic and we put ourselves higher because under this umbrella that we have several entities where this is our way of creating a way to self-employ our community. The only thing that we're missing in our communities is another BET. Not to say that same brand, but we need to create more platforms that our folks feel comfortable to come on and promote themselves. Promote what you do. Your skills matter. Forget about just color matters. Your skills matter. Let's say that. Let's put a wall up and say our skills matter in this community because we built our own communities. And that's what I wanted to share. I wanted to share the importance of that. And the CPA, we also provide and assist with firearms training and direction. Some of our family members live in very rural areas and they have to go and they have to hunt and they have to purchase equipment to protect themselves. We have specialists that are licensed in our community that are working with folks, and we're creating Zoom calls so we can get people involved so that we predict certain scenarios for our communities because our communities are often targeted the most. This time we want our communities to be ready. There's a radio called a Bao Fang radio. Everybody, if you get a chance, go to Amazon and buy. It's a $20 radio. Bao, BAOFENG. With this radio, they're actually trying to ban this radio in America, but it's free, it's legal. Get it while it's free and legal. You can program the CB radio to the first responders, the National Guard, the fire department, and what I enjoy listening to the most is the local law enforcement, because if they're in my community, I'm able to come in with some of the team members and we're able to defuse the situation before it gets out of hand. Baofeng radios, if you can find them on Amazon, get them, because we also have exercises where we also recommend all of our members of our teams to get fuse lights. Or when the lights go out in your community, how are you going to see down the block from you? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we're asking everybody to get some, some solar lighting in your home. Get some water filtration systems in your home. Start collecting water. Stop buying these cheap plastic clothes. Start walking around with some cotton, something that you could wash and wear again. Start taking your kids out to the wilderness. Teach them about the different herbs and the plants that out there. Teach your kids how to farm. Teach them about solar. Teach them about reverse osmosis. If you live next to the ocean and you can't drink and you can't drink beach water, salt water, learn about reverse osmosis so that we can turn it to drinking water. In your city, create your team. Create a team of 5 people that, in a case of worst case scenario, you have 5 people in the arm's reach that you can connect to, and that starts to rebuild your family and your community. And start picking up, there's certain equipments that we all must have in our homes. There's a reason why when you go to Walmart, you see a certain group of people in the Walmart more than you see other folks. They know what Walmart is selling. They have a lot of camping equipment, but they really are survival equipment. They have these large canisters of water. Get them now, and don't be those people that we drive by and see them long lines. See them guys right there? They was in line trying to buy sneakers. Now they're trying to get food. Okay? We're not looking to be those people anymore. So our objective is to work with everybody, and all of these components that I'm speaking of is a part of the series that we're working collectively with the NAGASHIP Association, so that we can be able to start educating more and change the miseducation and give them some proper education so that we can all be prepared. With this Baofeng radio, we can be able to set up our own bands and we can talk to each other directly. From Boston, I can talk to you in Atlanta. I can talk to you in Florida. I can talk to you you can talk to you anywhere around the world with this little CB radio, which is why they're trying to ban it. So get this radio. There's a website called radiofrequency.com. That website is a national website, but whatever state you're in, find your state, hit that button. It'll tell you exactly what the radio frequency for emergency response team. When grids go out, the emergency response team on them walkie-talkie radios are the #1 ways that you're going to communicate with anybody. Because when you think about it, everybody that's on this call, we went down to Katrina and volunteered when Katrina happened. We were down there for a week. All right, we went out there, boots on the ground. So we saw what a city looked like in America when it's shut down, and it's just military, and half of the block is lit, and the military say, don't go down there because we have no jurisdiction and no rights in that area. So we need to change that. That means that now your community is stuck on its own, and if you cross a line, the military has a right to put you down. Another thing that I want everybody to look into, MRE, meals ready to eat. Some of y'all that have large families and have children, they sell them on Amazon. You can get them in a box. And anybody that was in the military, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These are things that our community needs to start buying. Thank you very much, sister. We need to start buying to start preparing ourselves for. Now, I as a first responder myself, I get different briefs. They're explaining to us that August, September, November is where we're going to start feeling a lot of what they're feeling is kind of like a depression by way of COVID. So I'm calling on to everyone. Please take heed to what we're saying. Family to family, please go out there and first thing you want to do is get this radio. Get your mother a radio. I got my mother a radio. I got my elders. All of them have their radios. And I tell them, Saturday night, turn it on to whatever radio station your police department is and listen to what goes on in your streets at night. Listen to what goes on in your streets at night. Not to judge, but listen to the level of crime, listen to the level of communication, and you can become a part of an oversight. So when you hear things going on, hey, That's around the corner. Let me go out there and record, because that's your right. What they do is take your rights away. They're taking your rights away. So they're taking your voting rights away. So that you can't go to change your elected officials, so that they can just snowball us over. But at least the most important thing, and generators. Get generators, and also everybody gets solar panels. Even if you need a small solar panel, you don't need a big solar panel. Don't believe that lie. Get a smaller solar panels for most of your small devices. Because when situations occur, you're not gonna be sitting there playing with iPads. There you go. That red one in the center, that red one is one of the ones that we use the most and often, because the reason that one is important, because those are silent generators. The only issue with generators is that when you turn them on, anybody that know about a generator, they're very loud. And marauders drive around and they look for generators and they listen for generators. So the benefit of a silent generator is that they won't hear you. And the benefit of those generators, you can put them further away from your house so you don't get carbon monoxide poisoning. My battery is at 1% here at Nubian Square, and I don't want it to delete without saying anything to you, because I've been here politicking. I don't want to say politicking in that respect, but we're sitting here talking with the community, and it's beautiful to see so much of our family out here. I mean, it was so much love that we had, and we want to make this a continual thing when all of these families come out. So please come out to support all of our events. We're putting together a calendar of events so that you can be able to follow us and submit. Even if you can donate $1 to this museum, y'all, that museum has the largest concentration of Nubian artifacts in America. The largest concentration of Nubian artifacts. The reason why is because they were hidden in the basement of Harvard University. They were hidden in the basement of Harvard University. I have my cousins from Sudan, and I have relatives that work at Harvard University as professors. So we've been working for years. We've been working for years to restore and retake our artifacts back, and then protect and create levels of protection. Thank you very much. We also have volunteer opportunities. If you, whatever city you're in, please notify us and let us know that you're looking to volunteer. We offer volunteer opportunities for students and youth. If you have children that need to volunteer over the summer, they're looking to do some landscaping, they're looking to do some painting. And we're also looking for volunteers to help us throughout our events. We provide water, we provide shelter. But what we need the most is you. We need you to come out. Don't be afraid. Bring your mask. Please bring your mask. And bring some masks for somebody else. And some hand sanitizers. Because don't forget now, people wasn't washing their hands before COVID. Let's not play around like COVID's gonna stop having people washing their hands. So I'm just saying that to be funny, but I really want to encourage our family. Bring your mask and let's follow these protocols. If all goes well, the museum should be open for a walkthrough. If all goes well, sections of the museum will be open for a walkthrough, but there will be sections of the museum that may be closed. But our goal is to have it open so our families can come and enjoy this. And now, and I'm gonna give you all an international heads up. Egypt just announced that the Egyptians just announced that they're gonna start identifying and looking into their black Egyptian family, which is Aswan, Nubia. And let me tell you one more thing. Nubian Geographic owns the NubianMuseum.com. There's a museum in Nubia called the Nubian Museum, but we in Roxbury, Nubian Square, own that domain. And when we feel it's time, when they choose to include us as Nubians, then we'll say, we might put you on our website. But we know that so many cultures of people have tried to exclude us out of our true history and our true story. So many folks from abroad try to exclude us. So it's our turn to say, listen, we now hold the Nubian identity, no longer you, because you came over here and you pledged allegiance to a country that just stripped and took all of everything away from you. Why should we respect you? You came to our land only to pretend like you're not a part of our community. So now the Most High gave us control over our story. Now it's time for us to convey it. It's time for us to conserve, preserve, and restore. Remember that. Nubian Geographic, conserve, preserve, restore. And don't forget the words Ray, Ra, restore, everything. And until our next transmission, our next communique, Atumra Hotep, Hotep wa Ashok, and to my Muslim, Assalamu alaikum.
Atum Rahotep. Assalamu alaikum. All right, so everyone, again, he is in Nubian Square, and it was an honor to be here today and to share what he has to deliver to our people as a message of encouragement and to move forward and many other things. I'm not going to continue to even try to speak for him. This, again, we are planning to have in the form of a series. So you will see him again. And of course, if you have anything you'd like to share, you can leave it in the comments. I do check after the videos on the comments. And my email address is here below. You can contact me at my email address or inbox me on Facebook. And the Facebook, the @ symbol, RSGUT, you put that in, type in the @ symbol. Don't ignore that symbol and RSGUT, and it'll take you straight to the Facebook business page for the NAGASHIP Telecommunications Multimedia. And until next time, I appreciate you all being here. Atum.